رهبرا پرژین سیرکل و به خصوص آقای تبریزی عزیز که لیدرشپ این educational process رو در واقع به عهده گرفتن که من فکر می‌کنم خیلی مهم هست. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry that I can see a few people among the crowd that they are not Persian speakers. So to respect the most, well, I don't know. We have to switch, I think, to respect everybody. We have to switch back and forth.
The spirit of inclusivity. At least we've decided that the introduction will be.
Exactly. I think that to be more respectful, we have to be like switching back and forth. So my name is Lili Purzand. So I go very briefly in English and then Farsi. My name is Lili Purzand. I came to Canada in 1999. I received my first law degree back home in Tehran, Iran, in 1999. And then I came to Canada and I continued my education in women's studies at York University. And then I got my LLM, which is the Master in Law at Osgood Hall Law School in 2010 with the focus on gender equality and diversity. I have worked with Amnesty International and other human rights organizations, and at the moment I'm working as a women counselor and women empowerment expert at Women's Center of York Region. I have several publications in Farsi and English, both specifically about gender equality, both in public and private life. I'm writing at Huffington Post Canada and many other Iranian publications as well. خانم ها آقایون خیلی خلاصه عرض میکنم خدمتتون. من لیلی پورزند هستم. سال 99 وارد کشور کانادا شدم به عنوان مهاجر. اولین مدرکم رو در دانشکده حقوق شهید بهشتی سال 99 دریافت کردم و بعد از مهاجرت مدرک دومم رو ویمنز استادیز یا مطالعات زنان از دانشگاه یورک و بعد فوق لیسانس حقوقم رو از دانشکده آزگود یورک در واقع دریافت کردم با فوکس جندر اکوالیتی یا برابری جنسیتی. در دفتر نماینده مجلس فدرال منطقه ویلودل 2 سال کار می‌کردم. خانم مارتا آلفیلدی با امنستی اینترنشنال و سازمان‌های حقوق بشر دیگه به عنوان چه کارمند و چه داوطلب کار کردم. عضو بورد چند ارگانیزیشن بودم و در حال حاضر هم مسئول توانمندی و مشاور زنان مرکز زنان یورک ریجن هستم در نیو مارکت و مقالات من به فارسی و انگلیسی در نشریات فارسی زبان و به خصوص در هافینگتون پست کانادا به انگلیسی چاپ شده. از آگست امسال نامینیشن خودم و کاندیداتوری خودم رو برای مرحله نامینیشن فدرال از منطقه ویلودل اعلام کردم و کمپین رو کارش رو آغاز کردیم تا به امروز هم داریم فعالیت می‌کنیم. خیلی ممنون.
Good evening, my name is Maji Johari. I'd like to thank Mr. Tabrizi as well. And been in Canada for about 35 years. I left Iran in 1979, and upon finishing my high school, I came to Canada with the purpose of studying and plan to go back. Many things, one thing led to another, and finally decided to stay in Canada and became a Canadian citizen. I've been in Canada for 32 years. Professionally, I'm an industrial engineer, and I graduated from Ryerson in 1985. I completed my MBA in 1992. I'm a certified management consultant and I'm a certified management accountant. Completed my MBA from Schulich School of Business as well. And I own my own company. I do a lot of advisory for large corporate companies. BlackBerry, Molson, Direct Energy, and Celestica are some of my key clients that I've been working on and focusing on for the past 7 years. Married, 2 kids. One is in university, the other was in grade 9. Very much like everyone else, I've been finding it challenging, assimilating both personally and professionally in the Canadian, let's say, society. And I'm glad I've made it, and I'm glad that I see a lot of you are well on your way and you've already accomplished yourself. Platform, basically I stand for inclusivity, I stand for integrity and accountability. Because I'm an early comer as compared to the majority of you, The Iranian community was well established back in 1979. A few families and a lot of small group of students. So focus in there was basically integrate the newcomers into the Canadian society by kind of easing their landing, as I call it, helping them find a place to live, getting their kids into school, and helping them integrate into the society by finding them jobs, etc. And on the student side, started the first Iranian student council at Ryerson, and then we managed to kind of assimilate that into the York University and University of Toronto. I'm planning to run on the Richmond Hill as a nominee for the 2015 federal election. I'll leave it as that because I know the time is short, and I'm going to pass it on to Adam.
Hello. I'm not quite sure if this is on. My name is Ali Assassi, and I happen to be one of the candidates who's seeking the Liberal nomination in Willowdale. I was born in Geneva, grew up in New York City on account of the fact that my father used to be an Iranian diplomat. But I lived in Iran from when I was 9 to when I was 14. And then we eventually came to Canada when I was 15 years old. And since I arrived here, it's always been one of my priorities to actually take an active role in various things that I get involved in. So that having been said, in high school I was involved in student politics. Then moved on to the University of Toronto. At the University of Toronto, decided that it was important to make the most of the opportunities provided. Was active on a wide variety of different issues. I was president of UNICEF club at the University of Toronto. I was president of the U of T Young Liberals. I was the member of a research group that actually attended the G7, G8 summits at the time. It's now changed obviously to G20. I was also active with the Iranian Cultural Association. At that particular juncture in the early 1990s, what we used to do is try to make sure that that on a yearly basis, Iranian students, and there were quite numerous at the University of Toronto, had an occasion and an opportunity to come together to celebrate Nowruz. So that was undergrad, where I attended and did a degree in political science and history. Then subsequent to that, went to the London School of Economics, where I earned a master's in economics. I have to admit I wasn't too active in university life at that particular point because it was a one-year program. Then returned to Canada, attended Osgoode Hall Law School. Again, it was important to get involved in the fabric of life at the university there. I was senior editor of the Osgoode Hall Law Journal. I volunteered my time to the legal clinic there. I was a research assistant to 2 members of the faculty and sat on quite a few committees as well, the most important of which was the recruitment of faculty. Subsequent to that, after graduating from law school, I specialized in international trade and arbitration, worked at the preeminent practice groups for international trade and arbitration in Canada at various law firms. At some juncture, I did actually work for the province of Ontario as well, at the Ministry of Economic Development and Trade. Did that for about a year. But also along the way, given that my expertise was international trade and arbitration, I also moved to Ottawa, and for 2 years there, I was working with the Department of Foreign Affairs on issues relating to trade and arbitration and things of that nature. Subsequent to that, I actually moved down to Washington, D.C. for a few years, worked at a law firm there and received a LLM. But most significantly, I think it's important, as Mr. Tabrizi was kindly suggesting, that we all participate in the life of this country or in the life of our community. These things are invaluable learning experiences, and they only also allow us to enrich the fabric of where we live. As a Liberal, I've been active since 1990. And generally, the way it would work is, obviously, we all have limited time available. I would find those Liberal MPs who I thought were all about rolling up their sleeves and being good constituency MPs, and I would volunteer my time. And perhaps, given the audience, I should emphasize that in those early years, when I would go to help out and volunteer on campaigns, generally there would be very, very few Iranians who would be there helping out, stuffing envelopes, knocking on doors, doing all those types of things. But as the years have moved on, I can say that there are a whole lot more people from our community who are actually getting engaged and are helping out on numerous campaigns. So you can imagine, I think it's incredible that we have so many people this time around who are running for various parties and running for nominations. And thank goodness we represent all the various parties. I'm sure, there's no doubt in my mind that there will definitely be an Iranian candidate who will be running for the NDP in the next election as well. But on that note, I'll just pass it on to Peter. Thank you.
با سلام به دوستان. در آغاز میخواستم از جناب آقای تبریزی انجمن پریا تشکر بکنم برای این برنامه‌ای که گذاشتن. منم به دو صورت فارسی و انگلیسی مطالب رو بیان خواهم کرد و اول اگه اجازه بفرمایید به انگلیسی خواهم گفت و بعد به فارسی. I would like to tell you guys a little about myself. I came to Canada in 1990 and I finished my university here. I studied the Bachelor of Electrical Engineering in Kaufman University, and after that I proceeded to work in the field and get my PhD in 2006. Most of my time I did as much volunteer work as I can because I'm a true believer of volunteerism. While I was in the university, I represented the students in the dormitory in the Rideau River Residence Council. Also, I represented the engineering students in student government body. I also did volunteer work for food patrol in Kaufman University, where we provided a safer place for all students. After that, I got involved with an organization called Engineers for Engineers, and we tried to make it easier for engineers to find job and also get their degrees evaluated in Canada. I also did lots of volunteer work for organizations such as First Robotics, Habitat for Humanity, Iranian Engineers Association, which I was a vice chair, Professional Engineers of Ontario York chapter, which I was the director of communication and also part of the executive board, Markham Art Council, part of executive board, York Region Parents Association, which I am still active in it. I am the VP of Advocacy and the Chinese Canadian Liberal Association, where I am an executive board member and part of the directors. And also recently I helped the Filipino-Canadian Real Estate Association in fundraising for Yolanda typhoon disaster. And basically this is not the first time I'm running for office. In 2010 I ran here in Richmond Hill for public school trustee position within the municipalities election, and I came second basically. And now I'm trying to participate as a contender in federal liberal nomination in town of Richmond Hill, and hopefully I will be able to serve the community here. دوستان عزیز، من در سال 90 به کانادا اومدم، تحصیلاتم رو در دانشگاه کارلتون تمام کردم و در زمانی هم که در دانشگاه بودم تا جایی که تونستم کارهای داوطلبانه انجام دادم، برای اینکه من واقعا به کارهای داوطلبانه اعتقاد دارم. در زمانی که در دانشگاه بودم برای فوت پاترول اونجا فعالیت میکردم، همچنین دانشجویان رو در خوابگاه در کمیته دانشجویانی که در خوابگاه زندگی میکردن اونا رو رپرزنت میکردم و همچنین رپرزنتیتیو دانشجویان رشته مهندسی در انجمن دانشجویان بودم. بعد از خارج شدم من در ارگانیزیشنایی مثل First Robotics, Habitat for Humanity, Engineers for Engineers و Iranian Engineers Association که انجمن مهندسین ایرانی مهندس، Professional Engineers of Ontario که همون به PEO معروفه، برای یورک چپتر فعالیت داشتم و همچنین برای یورک ریجن پرنس اسوسییشن و چاینیز کانادین لیبرال اسوسییشن که در تمام اینها جزو اگزیکتیو بورد بودن. و اخیراً هم در فاندریزینگ برای دیزاستری که در فیلیپین اتفاق افتاد با فیلیپین ریل استیت اسوسییشن همکاری کردم و کمک کردم که فاندی جمع بشه و به افرادی که نیازمند هستن برسه. من دفعه اولم نیستش که در این منطقه ران میکنم. من در سال 2010 در انتخابات شهری شرکت کردم و برای پوزیشن سکول تراستی، پابلیک سکول تراستی ران کردم و نفر دوم شدم و امیدوارم این اپورتونیتی داشته باشم که نماینده شما باشم برای حزب لیبرال و بتونم شما رو از ریچموند هیل رپرزنت کنم. خیلی متشکرم.